Back on May 24th, 2020, the New York Times dedicated its front page to the incalculable loss of 100,000 people to COVID-19. Tonight, we have hit a grim and dreaded other milestone. More than 1 million Americans have lost their lives from COVID. The pandemic, as the AP writes, leaving empty spaces in homes and neighborhoods across the country, whether we are aware of them or not. It is almost impossible to wrap your mind around the pain of the past 2 years. But I think back to something Mount Sinai Hospital chaplain Rocky Walker told me during the early days of the pandemic.
In the middle of all this sadness, there's so much goodness that people are displaying, not just other coworkers, which they amaze me, but the patients themselves, the ones that are not intubated, that can talk. Stephanie, you have no idea how many times in a day a grieving family member will stop crying for their family member who we've just told them has died, and they stop to thank us. You're seeing some of the most wonderful things happen in one of the most darkest times.
Humanity in the face of darkness. With us tonight, Dr. Steven Sample. He's an ER physician at Memorial Hospital and Healthcare Center in Jasper, Indiana. And Kristen Urquiza, co-founder of the nonprofit Marked by COVID. Dr. Sample, you have devoted countless hours to trying to save people from COVID. We've now lost more than 1 million people. What are you thinking about tonight?
You know, I don't even know that I have the words to express it. I don't know when we start to get to numbers like 1 million gone. I don't know that anybody has even the real capacity individually to understand that. And so we go back to our individual losses. Because the bigger the number gets, the more unreal it gets. 1 million people in 2 years. It is insane. And compounded by the fact that so many of those most of those have come post-vaccination. It's awful. And we haven't really had time to sit with it, because then Ukraine went to war and now the Supreme Court. And so there's always something occupying us to kind of delay our collective grief, I think.
Kristen, after you lost your dad to COVID, you turned and devoted yourself to teaching other people about the virus. What are you thinking about tonight?
I'm thinking about how this was preventable. Thinking about the literally hundreds, if not thousands, of grieving individuals that I have met over the course of the last couple of years, and how much pain and suffering is out there behind doors and hidden from view, as it seems like so many want to move on, when we need to pause for a minute and recognize these losses. 1 million people gone. That is not normal, nor is it okay.
Kristen, how has this virus changed you?
I'm not the same person I was 2 years ago. I'll never be the same person. I am really, I describe myself as a high functioning, not okay person. What I have really learned over the course of the last couple of years is that in a pandemic, money talks, and big business matters a lot more than people's lives. And that's not the world I want to live in.
Wow. Dr. Sample, how has it changed you? You spent a lot of time, frustrated hours, treating people that were still denying COVID's existence.
Sure. I think I'm an ER doctor, so we're all a little cynical by nature. We have to be. But I think I have to really work on my own cynicism and my attitudes towards fellow man, because I've seen a lot of stuff that has been really painful to me as a physician. You know, I have been told in exam rooms that I'm either uninformed or lying directly to the patients about their conditions, even while I go next door and break bad news to the family, you know, and it also makes every single cough and bad cold that checks into my emergency department, it also sends a little shiver up my spine, and you wonder, oh my gosh, is the second wave here? Is the third wave? Now I think we're on the sixth or seventh wave that's starting to rise. But certainly it has affected the way I look at people around me, and I don't like that about myself very much right now.
Has it changed the way you practice medicine? Did you ever think in the last 2 years you don't want to do it anymore?
Yeah, I've thought a lot about I don't want to do it anymore, and emergency medicine and medicine in general is going through struggles pre-COVID, and all of those struggles have been compounded. Just everything that has been brewing in the background has come right up to the forefront between doctor and nurse shortages. But yeah, it's hard. It's hard to want to go in every day. It's nice, or it has been nicer now, because recently we have been in more of a, sort of a downward swing. And the people that we are seeing with COVID aren't as terribly sick as they were. But it's always there in the back of your mind. Are we going to do this again?
Kristen, you lost your dad, and how isolated and alone you must have felt. Yet at the same time, you were grieving with thousands of other people. What has this sort of the collective grief been like for you?
I mean, it was so isolating. I wasn't able to be with my dad. And it felt like nobody was talking about the fact that these were real people that were dying. I felt alone. And when I first spoke out, it was such a healing piece of healing action for myself, because people started to come forward and say, oh my gosh, you finally said what I was thinking or I was feeling, that I was robbed, that this was preventable, that this shouldn't happen. Our collective grief, though, has not been recognized on the scale that it needs to be recognized in order for us to really grapple with what's happened to us, not only individually, but as a society. And that's partially why Marked by COVID is working for permanent recognition through a COVID Memorial Day, permanent memorials, but also a COVID commission to ensure that we codify lessons learned from this experience and pass that on to future generations so this never happens again. And we can't push this pandemic into the memory hole like we did the 1918 pandemic. We just can't.
What was your dad named, Kristen?
He was Mark.
Well, Mark, we're thinking about you tonight. Dr. Steven Sample, Kristen Urquiza, thank you both for joining us.